on training the talent in Mysore. Along with that, we are also collaborating. We are also collaborating with getting different market access to this ecosystem within India as well as outside India. We have a thriving startup ecosystem that is coming up in Mysore, which have very interesting products and solutions. So this initiative is an effort, collective effort done by KDEM as well as the Consulate of Israel to see how we can leverage the strengths available in these two countries. Another important factor that I would like to recall is that the relationship India, Mysore especially, and Israel share is that Mysore, the soldiers of Mysore played a very important role in liberating the city of Haifa during the World War. And there is a Haifa memorial both in Bangalore as well as in the city of Haifa, where both the states, the sovereign state of Mysore earlier, commemorate. And we very recently concluded the 100th year of Haifa celebration in 2018. So taking the historical connect and proceeding forward to the future of technology, cybersecurity being a very dynamic and an essential part of the IT industry, we are very keen to enrich this ecosystem with international collaborations. So I would welcome Kavita for this program, along with her Joseph Abraham and Sarah Rosenberg from the Israel Innovation Authority as well as the Israel Consulate. And I welcome all the companies represented by Israeli business groups, and also all the entrepreneurs from the Indian companies who are present at this program. So now I request Joseph Abraham to please give the keynote to the participants.
Thank you very much, Sudheer. It's always a pleasure. Let me say a few words with your permission. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. It is always a pleasure to inaugurate these types of activities where we provide a platform to connect Israel and Indian companies. And we hope always that these opportunities can develop into successful ventures. As you all know, cyber is a significant industry sector as it has implementations in every other sector, be it the service sector, the industry, and infrastructure. Every country has to rise to the cyber challenge, each to its own internal and external threats. Israel has been faced with significant attacks on security, forced to develop the most innovative technologies in order to protect itself. This reality, combined with ample government support, strong military education, and a robust entrepreneurial spirit, has allowed Israel to always stay ahead of the curve and lead the way. Over the past 30 years, Israel has been a global player in the development of cybersecurity innovation. Thanks to the military know-how and a large and dedicated academic community, we have a concentration of cyber professionals widely recognized as a pioneer in global development of disruptive cybersecurity solutions, as well as the adoption of forward-looking cyber policies. With more than 400 companies in diverse subsectors such as networks, security, connected devices, IoT and control systems, data protection, encryption, network operations, and orchestrated anti-fraud, and IAM orchestration applications and web security GRC. This local ecosystem offers a wide range of highly varied solutions for the entire security value chain for governments and for corporations all over the world and across all industries, attracting the second highest amount of investment. The value of this sector in Israel is approximately $3.5 billion US. This supporting infrastructure includes accelerators, corporate accelerators, communities, and the entrepreneurship programs. There has been notable acquisitions, to mention a few, such as Twistlock by Palo Alto, Aramis by Insight, Argus by Continental, and Adalom by Microsoft. There have also been IPOs. An example is Scout. I would like to continue with a few words on my office. We are the Economic and Trade Mission of Israel in Bangalore and are responsible for all the trade and economic connections between Israel and the 5 states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Puducherry. Our modes of operation include meeting with Indian companies, organizing meetings, either virtual or in person between Israel companies and Indian companies, organizing delegations of Indian companies to Israel or delegations to India. We promote events in Israel and in India and the participation in them. We promote binational Israel-India programs. Allow me to call upon the audience to connect with us if they find an interest in technologies or companies with Israel. We will be happy to oblige. We also organize custom-made visits of Indian companies to Israel. I'd like to mention a few events that take place in Israel, like Cybertech and Cyber Week. We also participated in Digipol in Hyderabad, and there are others. I would like to conclude by acknowledging our partners and shareholders in this event. Without them, these things are not possible. I would like to mention KDEM, Startup Karnataka, KTech, Assocham, and others, and my apologies to those I might have missed. Allow me to also acknowledge Sarah Rosenberg from the Israel Innovation Authority, who came to India a few months ago, and we hope she will make many more other visits to here in the hope of doing even more business. With that, I'm going to wish you all a most successful business meet and hope that we will close this with connections and cooperation between Indian companies and Israel companies. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Abraham, for your nice words. It was summarized very well. I now welcome Sarah Rosenberg from the Israel Innovation Authority to give details about the I4F initiative and the process involved so that the audience here can be educated. Just for the information of the audience, the Indian counterpart, Jyotsna from Department of Science and Technology, had a last-minute emergency for which she has regretted that she'll not be able to join. However, we will be having a program on 18th of this month where a dedicated I4F session is programmed. And we are going to share the link and details about those activities to the Indian participants, in which the entire process of filing forums and applying for I4F will be explained. Now, the process from the Israel can be understood, and from where we will go to the pitching sessions. Anybody who is expecting a one-on-one interaction with the companies post the pitching session can please reach out to me. I have shared my email ID in the chat box, and we will be very happy to connect them through the consulate for future one-on-one interactions between the two companies, apart from the I4F initiative that we are talking about.
नहीं, आप ये सुधीर को ही फोन कर, मैंने बोला ये क्रिटिकल क्लाइंट है, वो हैंडल कर रहा है, वो कल वो मधुसूदन प्रधान से बात की, मधुसूदन प्रधान, यू नो हाउ इट इज.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Kannada yet.
No, I think there is a crosstalk. You can please continue. We will look earlier.
Okay, so should I start?
Yeah, please.
Okay, good. So thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you, Sudhir. Nice to meet you. Thank you, Joseph, and thank you, Kavita. My name is Sarah Rosenberg. I'm part of the Israel Innovation Authority. Can we somehow force to mute people who are...
I will look after that. You please continue.
Please,
yes.
Sorry. Disturbing. So I'm part of the Israel Innovation Authority, which is basically the agency in Israel that is co-managing the I4F fund in collaboration with DST TDB, Technology Development Board, that Sudhir mentioned. So I'll give you a very brief overview of the I4F fund that I hope will explain not only about the Israeli side, but generally how the fund works for both sides. Of course, as Sudhir mentioned, we'll have a more detailed webinar on the 18th together with TDB. So TDB will be able to answer more Indian-specific questions, but I hope at least today I can give you some initial basic information. So I'll just start with a few words about the Israel Innovation Authority to give you the context. So we are basically the Israeli agency in charge of promoting innovation and R&D in Israel. We started about 50 years ago already as what used to be called the Office of the Chief Scientist in the Ministry of Economy. And we became what we are today, the Israel Innovation Authority, an independent entity in 2016. So our mission basically is to promote technological innovation in Israel for inclusive and sustainable economic growth. We do that through three main types of activities. One, which is our bread and butter and the core of our work, is to invest in R&D and to support the development of innovative technologies. The second is to make sure that Israel is prepared for the future technological waves, and that we are able to build relevant ecosystems in specific fields that are of critical importance, such as climate, such as AI, such as quantum, or what we call bioconvergence, which is the convergence between medicine and engineering. The third type of activity is basically trying to look at all the threats that create a challenge, that challenge basically the growth of the Israeli tech ecosystem, and trying to address them. Just to give you an example, one of the recent challenges in the last few years is the lack of trained human capital to feed the needs of the tech ecosystem. So we try to develop tools and initiatives to address those challenges. So we, just to give you an idea in terms of size, we have an annual budget of $500 million that comes from the Ministry of Finance every year. We receive about 2,200 applications for funding every year. So now to move directly to I4F. So, and of course, I'll finish quickly with this, and we'll be happy to take any questions. So I4F is a joint innovation fund launched in 2018 by the Israel Innovation Authority and the Department of Science and Technology in India, to support basically collaboration in innovation between Israeli companies and Indian companies. It started with a budget of $40 million for 5 years. We completed in 2022 the initial 5 years and started a new phase in 2023. Already in the first phase, we were supporting mainly joint R&D between Indian companies and Israeli companies. This year, we expanded the scope, and I'm going to explain about that, with 4 different tracks. One that is called feasibility, another one that R&D that we had since the beginning, pilot track, and then strategic track. In the first 5 years, we had 2 calls for proposals per year, and now we shifted to 3 calls. So just to give you an idea of the results so far since we started in 2018, we issued 9 calls for proposals. The 10th one is currently open for applications. We received close to 70 project proposals from Indian and Israeli companies, approved 25 of them for a total amount of about $30 million. So now that's basically the most important information you need. So these are this is the new model of the fund, where, as I said beforehand, we used to support only joint R&D. Now we added 3 additional tracks. Feasibility is basically to support very short projects between, again, always between an Israeli company and an Indian company, to test the feasibility of a new product or technology before you get into a long-term R&D project. So the feasibility grant size that you can receive is up to $100,000 for both sides, or up to 50% of the project budget, whichever is lower. It's very important to note also an improvement from this year that for startups less than 5 years old, we give funding of up to 70% of the project budget. In feasibility, it's a full grant. It's not a conditional grant, so you don't have to pay it back whether you succeed or you fail. If the project is approved, the money is yours and you don't have to pay it back. Feasibility projects can last up to 9 months. Because it's basically a preliminary project before you get into R&D, it's usually on around TRL 3-4. And in all tracks, basically the eligibility is for Indian and Israeli companies to lead the project. Academia can join, or even research institutes can join. the projects as partners, as subcontractors, and receive up to 30% of the project budget. Now, moving to R&D. Obviously, the R&D track is aimed to support the joint development of new products or technologies by Israeli companies and Indian companies. The grant size that can receive is up to $2.5 million per project for both sides together, up to 1.25 each side. As I said before, up to 70% for startups less than 5 years old. So whichever is lower. The project can last up to 2 years. The TRL should be around 5-6. We have, as I said, 2 cost proposals every year. One is open right now and closing in August. Pilot program, the idea is when you're at a later stage where you already developed the technology and don't want to get into a co-development, but you want to test your technology on the ground in collaboration with your Indian or Israeli partner. So in this case, we give grants of up to $1 million per project. Same, up to 50% for companies older than 5 years old, 70% for startups less than 5 years old. In R&D pilot strategic, it's what we call conditional grant, meaning that if the project succeeds and you manage to basically commercialize the technology that you co-developed or piloted, we ask you to pay us back.
Did I forward you one Zoom link?
Sorry,
Okay.
request the participants to go on mute, please.
So conditional grant, if you succeed, we ask you to pay us back in the form of royalties of between 3 to 5% of the sales amount every year until you repay the grant that you received, and not more than that. And of course, I didn't mention that we don't take equity. The project duration in pilot is up to 1 year. Same, 2 calls for proposals per year together for feasibility, R&D, and pilot. And the last track is what we call the strategic track. So if in the first 3 feasibility, R&D, pilot, basically we're open to receiving applications from all sectors except defense. In strategic, we basically defined every year a focus sector that we want specifically to promote. For 2023, it's climate tech. And basically we invite Israeli companies, Indian companies, Israeli academia, and Indian academia to come together to form a consortium to co-develop together groundbreaking technologies in that specific field. So in that case, we give grants of up to $5 million, up to 66% of the total budget for a project of up to 3 years. Same conditional grant, just like R&D and pilot. This will be a dedicated call for proposals every year. I believe that this year the call for proposals will be launched around October. I don't know how relevant it is for you in the field of cyber, but never know that you find a link between climate and cyber, always possible. In that case, the project has to be led by an Israeli company and an Indian company, but the participation of academia is compulsory as a subcontractor. So that's overall all the possibilities that we offer in the new format of I4F. Now, very quickly on eligibility criteria from both sides. In India, lead applicants have to be for-profit R&D performing company based in India and owned in majority by Indian citizens. In Israel, you just have to be a for-profit R&D performing company registered in Israel. And as I mentioned before, academia, research centers, etc., can participate as subcontractors, not as leads. Just few words at how we evaluate projects that we receive. We look at the technological novelty and maturity, at the synergy between the partners, at the commercial potential of the joint technology, at the technical capabilities and financial capabilities of both companies, at the project budget. Is it reasonable? Is it over-evaluated, under-evaluated? And of course, at what is the benefit to the Israeli and Indian economies? Regarding IP policy, it's a question that comes often. If you come to this project with a background IP that you already developed in the past, the IP remains yours. You can grant, of course, rights to your background IP to your partner if necessary. If you developed a new IP in the course of the project, we expect that you will share it together with the Israeli company. But it's up to you and your Israeli partner to work out the legal agreement. Basically, we don't intervene. So regarding the application process, as I said, we are currently in the middle of the 10th call for proposals. We opened it at the end of March. We're closing at the beginning of August, 10th of August, so we don't have a lot of time left, unfortunately, but it's still possible. Basically, usually what takes most time is to find the right partner on the other side. But hopefully this kind of events like we have today will be very helpful in matchmaking between Indian and Israeli companies. So if you happen to find a good partner today, you still have time to submit your application. So we will be closing on August 10th. On TDB's website for the Indian companies, you will find all the information about the cover proposals, about the documents you need to submit. I will share the link right after that. After we close the applications, we go through an in-depth evaluation process of the proposed project. Of course, TDB leads the evaluation on the Indian side, and we take care of the evaluation on the Israeli side. We share the results and make decisions on which projects to support or not by November. And then you have up to 3 months to sign a detailed agreement with your Israeli partner and in order to be able to receive your initial advance payment. And the advance payment is usually about 35% of the approved grant amount. And then, of course, we do some midterm evaluation and final evaluation when you finish your project. If you need help to find a partner, we just launched a new website, I4F.org, where we have an online matchmaking platform that you can sign up to, put in your details about your company, about your technology, about what you're looking for, and see if you find any relevant Israeli companies in the database there. If not, you can request from us to scout for relevant partners, especially for you, through this platform. That's all for me. I know we don't have a lot of time, so these are my contact details. These are the contact details of Dr. Jyotsna Dalal on the Indian side, so you can feel free to reach out to her for any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. It was a crisp but very informative presentation from your side. We have a quick time for about 1 or 2 questions. Anybody wanting to take a quick question can please come in now.
Yeah, hi, Sarah. This is Dr. Mangesh. I'm the Managing Director of Vlog Solution. Our company is based out of Mumbai, and we have recently started our activities there in Mysuru with the help of KDEM. And Sudheer is instrumental in bringing us there. So he's actually a guide, maintainer, and everything for us. So on this ground, just want to check with you. Do we really need to identify a partner, or we can come by our own and we can set up a R&D center there?
Set up an R&D center where? In Israel?
Yeah, Israel.
So of course, you're always welcome to set up an R&D center in Israel, but if you want to receive funding support from the I4F fund for a joint project with an Israeli company, then you have to submit an application together with an Israeli partner, always.
Okay.
An Indian company or an Israeli company cannot submit an application on their own. It always has to come as a team.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you, Sarah.
Any other question?
So thank you, Sarah, for your insightful presentation. And we will always be in touch with you. We'll share the details and credentials post this meeting to all our participants.
Yes.
And now we
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we move on to the core of the program, where we'll expect the companies to present their products. And to begin with, I will, as per the invite that we had sent, invite Checkpoint to please present their company deck. I would again request the participants that it is going to be a a 2 plus 7 plus 1 minute slot, where we expect you to talk about your company for about 2 minutes, make the pitch for 7 minutes. There will be a timekeeper from KDEM who will remind at the 9th minute, so that you can start summing up by 10th minute. So I request Checkpoint to please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudheer. Thank you, the entire crew, for joining in. It's a great opportunity for me. So I'll just share my screen. Kindly someone confirm once it is visible.
Yes, it is. Please go ahead.
So I'll start with what Checkpoint is. Checkpoint is an Israeli company which was established back in 1993. We are the global leaders today on the network security front. We have more than 6,000 employees today. We are listed on the NASDAQ since 1996, and we are basically known for innovation in the security market. And we have shown that throughout the company's history. We have been up to date with all the attacks, the kind of attacks and malwares that are there throughout the industry. And we have been able to perform, rectify, and prevent and help our customers on their security journey. So our revenues and profits, as well as the employees, have grown steadily over the years. And that is one of the beauty of how Checkpoint operates. Very organic in its approach, very steady in its approach. So coming to about how Checkpoint has been in Israel. So we are the most valuable Israeli company today with a 15 billion plus market cap. Again, as I mentioned, innovation has been our DNA, and it is drilled down from the top. So Gail Schwed, who was our founder and who continues to be our CEO. So he's a great guy. He's a techie himself. And he still today, he joins us, he joins the R&D teams, he works with them. And that is how the innovation has been drilled down from the very top to the very grassroots level in Checkpoint itself. We are the top employers for fresh technology graduates back in Israel and even in other countries, where a lot of fresh graduates are brought into the company, trained extremely well by Checkpoint, and they go out and do well in the business, and that includes me as well. Also, Mr. Gail Schwed had won the first Israel Prize for Technology back in 2019. So that gives us some validation that yes, the work that we are doing is making an impact in the world. Coming to the recognitions that Checkpoint has from third-party vendors or third-party analysts, we have been in the Magic Quadrant of Gartner as leaders for the past 23 years now, actually. We have been the customer's choice for unified threat management and NSS Labs. There are other organizations like Mircom. They have given us that the validation or the great distinction that we have the best cyber prevention rate across the industry. And that is why we are proud. We believe in prevention and not detection, because once the malware or the breach has happened, a lot of damage is already done. So we believe in prevention, and that is why a lot of investment goes into this specific aspect of our security, where we try and protect our customers even before they are attacked. Coming to the endpoint part of it, we have the highest coverage for detecting the different attacking techniques. Again, you can see there are good product ratings are great, and we are the leaders in cloud email security too. I'll cover that probably a bit later. I'll just move on. Coming to the part of our portfolio, I don't want to get deep into the products considering the time I have right now. So today, Checkpoint is helping its customers protect themselves, secure themselves on 3 aspects. First is the network security. So you will have your data centers, people go to offices, there is a network there. We create a perimeter level security, and we help our customers protect those perimeters. Then comes the cloud. So as I had mentioned, Checkpoint has kept up with the times. We have innovated, and we have come into the cloud security background also, because companies have evolved, the world has evolved, and everyone has a cloud story right now. But when it comes to the cloud, there is a shared responsibility model when it comes to the security. Your cloud service providers will only take certain responsibility for your cloud security, but the customers still have a lot of onus for protecting their own cloud infrastructure. And that is where Checkpoint comes in. And third, and very important, is the end user security. Especially after COVID, our end users, be it their emails, be it their endpoints, be it their mobile. Today, again, I am an employee. I want everything at the tip of my hands. So I want all my office applications on the phone. I have my tab at home through which also I connect to the office applications. I have my laptop, and all these are threat vectors. All these are vulnerabilities through which the attackers get into the network, and malwares, ransomwares get into the system. We protect our customers on the end user perspective also. Very important thing is, you can see something on the bottom of the screen is called Infinity Vision. Infinity Vision is a common dashboard to manage the entire Checkpoint portfolio. Any and every product you have from Checkpoint, you can manage through this Infinity Vision. Today, in today's world, I talk to a lot of security teams, IT teams, and especially in the mid segments or even large customers, their IT teams are heavily understaffed. I was part of a CISO roundtable recently, and one of the main that I heard from them, one second, I'm so sorry. One of the major problems I heard the CISOs mentioning was, number one, being understaffed, and number two, even if they have the staffs, their skill sets are not up to the mark where they want. So if you have a similar dashboard or the same dashboard to cater to most of your products, that training becomes easy. Productivity increases because you don't have to jump to different dashboards. You don't have to get used to different dashboards. And that is one of the major points that we see stick with the customer today when we go ahead and speak to them. Then comes Threat Cloud. So Threat Cloud is nothing but the brain of Checkpoint. It is, to put it across in a very layman term, it is the repository that we have built through 30 years of our operation. So as brain has two sides, right and the left. So one part is the repository part, where we have more than 1 lakh customers across the globe, on firewall front, on the cloud security front, on the endpoint security front. We get all those data. And another part is where we use our AI ML technologies to even unearth and stop the zero-day attacks. Zero-day attacks means the unknown attacks which have never been seen before. So just to let you understand how robust this threat cloud is. Today, everyone has a mobile phone. Even when I go to my village, I see, with the mobile revolution and the internet revolution in India, I see a lot of people, everyone using Google for anything and everything. Whatever they do not understand, they will probably go onto Google and search for it. So today, Google gets a daily hit rate or a search rate of 5.6 billion. Compared to it, Checkpoint's Threat Cloud receives 86 billion queries. That is 86 billion malware attacks every day. And that is how we have built this robustness into our environment. And this Threat Cloud protects our any and every Checkpoint product. Coming to the nitty-gritties and the exact aspects of network security. So as I had mentioned, we are there we can protect your perimeter, we can protect your data centers, we can even protect your branch offices. So it's not that we are only protecting the big companies, even if there are branch offices, smaller organizations, which probably will have offices of about 50 to 100 people.
Excuse me, Venkat. You're
Yes,
on the
sir,
9th
please.
minute. You're on the 9th minute.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. So yeah, I'll just take, so today we have the fastest firewall in the business called Quantum Lightspeed. And we have also innovated on the scalability coming into the firewall. So a firewall is Checkpoint firewalls can also be scalable and can be ordered on demand. On the endpoint front, we protect your desktops, laptops, mobiles, as well as emails. We also protect secure connectivity. So today I am working from home and I am still very securely connected through the public internet, that is the Airtel internet that I'm using at home. On the cloud front, so we can protect your cloud network, we can protect your posture management, we can protect your microservices as well, even the DevOps environment.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
Excuse me, Venkat. So you're done with 10 minutes.
Okay, I'll just take 5 more seconds if possible.
Sure, please.
Sure. So this is the consolidation story that Checkpoint has brought to the market, which is not there in our competitors or in most of the security vendors today. Today, you can protect your network, you can protect the cloud, and you can protect all your end users through one single company. These products do not work in silos. They will communicate to each other. Everything can be managed through a single portal. And we can also offer you SOC services. And I think, yeah, I'll stop there. That's it. I'm open to any questions if any.
Thank you. We will take the questions one-on-one. In
Sure.
the interest of time, since we have other 9 companies lined up, any questions that participants or any direct connects that they want, we'll be very happy to connect them directly to Checkpoint team.
Thank you, Sudheer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I request team from Sacumen to make their presentation.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Are you able to hear me, Sudheer?
Yes, Nitesh, I can.
Okay, wonderful. So for some reasons, my video is not working, right? So you may not be able to see me today, but I'll get started. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, very much. Please go ahead.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nitesh Sinha. I'm the founder and CEO of this company, Sacumen. So one thing that really differentiates my company compared to any other company in the world is our focus. So we are arguably the only company in the world that works only with cybersecurity product companies in the space of product engineering. So we work with them to develop innovative products and solutions. And I strongly feel is to whatever exponential growth we have achieved over a period of time, right, has been due to this focus. So that's all we do there is. So just a few more interesting things, about a company there is. So we have been in existence for 8 years now. We have around 5 development centers, Bangalore, where we have the headquarters in, and then we have the development centers in Pune, Ahmedabad, Mangalore, and we also have a center in New York at this point of time. I have a strong team of 170 plus cybersecurity warriors who work on developing those innovative cybersecurity products and solutions. And as part of our service offering, right, is we do a lot of interesting things. We run seven offshore development centers for our customers. We have a partnership ecosystem of 290 plus product companies, since we do a lot of work on the connector engineering side of it, right, which I'll explain in the coming slide. But in simple languages, connectors is typically used by any cybersecurity product companies to integrate with any other cybersecurity product or a non-cybersecurity product. So, and that is one of the key differentiators what we have in the market. So we have built more than 920 plus connectors across categories of SIM, SO, threat intelligence, cloud applications, cloud monitoring, DevOps, you name it that way, right? Of course, we do a lot of work on the product engineering side, a quite deep work in that way, right? So I'll talk about it. One of the very interesting things which we do for our customers is on the compliance engineering side of it is, which also I'll explain in the coming slide. But we do work actively with the top 3 of the 5 cybersecurity product companies of the world in that way. And so that's just a few of the interesting things about our company there. So I thought, since it's an opportunity to know each other, right? I thought I'll share you how my entrepreneur journey really went through, right? So as I said, the dream was really born in July 2015, and that's why this is the 8th year we are almost completing there, right? So we started in July. So obviously, as an entrepreneur, went through all varied emotions, while building the company, starting with excessive optimism, right, to seeing the ground realities. Getting very excited with small wins, having those doubts or doubting why, why did I even start all of this, right? Is to gradually reaching to the point, as we started to listen to a customer, right? We discovered our niche, which is in the connector space. So we realized there's a very strong need to build third-party integration by cybersecurity product companies to expand, the capabilities of the product. And then, we gradually got the Fortune 7 customer in 2018, right? And we started to do a lot of work on the product inside. We started to have good growth. And then, just when you start to think that you have everything in control, right, is, God has some ways to communicate that, who is the real boss. So in 2020, when the COVID struck up, right, it did have a certain impact for a certain time. But I think, is like a lot of companies who have a very differentiated offering and, work in a focused manner, we had a pretty, explosive growth after that, right? Almost having 100% year-on-year growth after that, right? Is got a lot of global recognition over a period of time. And now is a point where we are, where now we are looking at expansion, both in terms of expanding our executive leadership team, expanding in the location there, expanding on the new product lines, what we are offering to our customers there. So that's just a view of the journey, what we have so far. I think just in terms of market size, I'll keep it very simple, right? So any cybersecurity product companies typically spend around 20% of a budget on the product engineering side of it, right? And for us, that is all we focus. So when, people ask me, what is your market strategy? What's your sales strategy? And, I say it's very simple, right? All those 4,500 cybersecurity product companies of the world are either my customer or my potential customers in that way, right? So all I'm targeting is really that 20% R&D spend. So even if I achieve, even a 10% of it realistically, right, I pretty much would have, a very, very robust growth in that way. And that's what we are targeting. I'll not go into it, the potential what cybersecurity has that you all guys know. Just on the connector side of it, right? Any cybersecurity product companies, the gentleman before me, the big company, the Checkpoint, right? I'm sure they will have a huge, connector requirement, where they integrate with a lot of cybersecurity products or non-cybersecurity products in that way. And that is something is really a differentiator in that way, right? Is apart from the, specific product engineering work, what we do there. Just few of the customers whom we work with, right? So I think I just highlighted on the left-hand side in blue, right? Is what you see there are the existing cybersecurity product companies in Israel whom we are working with. These are all pretty big names in that space, right? Is Hunter, Psycognito, BioCatch, Veronis, Authentic, even Automize in that way, right? And then of course, if you see, the other set of customers are mostly North America. So because that is where primarily our market is. It's either Israel or North America in that way, right? And just few of the key customers whom we work with. So what we do, as I said, right, connected development and support is a critical problem, what we solve for our customers. Because the first thing, what I tell my customers is when it comes to any third-party integration or connectors, when they call it, is this is not really your core IP. This is still a necessary evil for any cybersecurity product company. And because it's not their core IP, right? Like partners like us, right, can take care of the development and support end-to-end in that way, right? So that's a major problem what we solve for our customers to give them that strong ability, to compete in the market, to roll out a huge set of connectors or third-party integration at a much more faster pace at a reduced cost, right, with the required predictability and quality there. So that is one piece we do. The second piece, yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so sorry. So other than that, I think product engineering, since we are talking about collaboration product engineering, right, there are a lot of interesting work we have done on the product engineering side. I'll quickly go through it, right? For example, adding a SOAR capability or to a SIM product, where we were involved in developing the workflow engine, the playbook, a drag and drop capability, building a generic log collector and parser framework, things around that, right, is what we have the experience. Creating a marketplace to create, publish connectors, or building a first version of a threat prediction engine using machine learning, doing those projects where you transform from legacy systems to SaaS-based modernized system, right? That sort of thing, or building a centralized SaaS-based multi-tenant platform for SIM product, right, to support their customers worldwide. So very, very interesting stuff, what we work on the product side of it. And the last piece is a very interesting thing, which is, I assume that not any other company would be offering at this point of time is what I call it as a risk management compliance engineering. This is where we help our customers answer that question which they may receive for, from a CIO or a CISO, right? When a cybersecurity product company would go and try to sell it is, or they may have it existing, right? Is, okay, I buy a cybersecurity product. Tell me how much does it help me on the risk management side of it? How much does it make me compliance? And most of the cybersecurity product companies don't really have a view of it. And that is a capability what we help to build for them, leveraging their product capabilities. So we are not making their product compliant. We are trying to showcase that compliance capability, which is achieved by buying these cybersecurity products for their customers in that way. So it serves as a big enabler for them to to achieve greater sales for them and provide greater value for them. But this is a pretty unique offering what we have, and I consider it really a blue ocean for us that way. Okay.
Excuse me,
yeah.
Mr. Nitish, you're on the 9th minute.
Okay, sure. So just few of the solutions what we have, right? So the CAS and the DAS is really helps to get the data in and out. Automan is a specialized framework to perform automation testing for connectors end to end. And we have a UCF framework which will help you to accelerate things on the compliance engineering side of it. This is my gang, with diverse skill set. We work together to make it successful. Just few of the global recognition what we have received. Recently, we received the Global InfoSec Award, where we received the Editor Choice Award for the best cybersecurity product engineering services company. And of course, getting rated in the Zeno ranking, and then getting Great Place to Work, Entrepreneur of the Year award. Few of those recognition has come in. Of course, we are a known level in the space, so Zeno has watched for us, right, of the work what we do, with being a specialized player, and getting rated in the execution zone pretty much on debut is a testimony to the work what we do there. This is a partnership ecosystem I was talking about, right? So we have a partnership ecosystem.
Excuse me, Mr. Nitish.
Yeah.
So you're done with 10 minutes.
Just 10 more seconds, please, if that's fine. Okay. Please. So I think we are on a mission to create a dent in the cybersecurity space. So we would want to develop those innovative cybersecurity products and solutions and make the safer world. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitish. Very nice to know your progress. Now I would request Cyber Range to please present their offering.
Sure, Sudhir, I'll just share my screen. My screen is visible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi guys, so this is Raj here, and we are a simulation design company based out of India. We specialize in designing physical cyber range simulations, which is patented in Australia, and we also build custom hardware badges for hackathons and CTFs. We specialize in building highly creative OT environment simulation programs on cybersecurity that is connected with the enterprise IT environment for including SIM and SOC environments. And one of the reasons why we exist is because we are addressing the workforce shortage issue in the world, and we focus on creating training platforms and simulations where the engineers on both OT and IT environments are generated using these platforms. So how we build it is that we typically have a very beautiful city miniature model that we design in our factory, and then we connect it to real world OT environments. Then we integrate the IT part of it and program them. Finally, there are HMIs created along with the simulation of softwares, commercial tools. Then the code is written for these activities, and finally the people are trained on this particular platform. Now, these are the various effects in which we show the cause and effect on the model. Like we use sound, smoke, sensors, lights to display the impact of the critical sector when there is a cyber attack. The platform uses a variety of techniques to show this attack. So we support breach and attack simulation platforms, malwares, human errors, physical attack, and so on, to show how a OT environment or an IT environment can be compromised on a particular model. So these are some of the vendors that we are very comfortable working with, like Yokogawa, Schneider, Rockwell, Siemens, Honeywell, Omron, and a list of protocols are given on the right-hand side, where these are the most common industrial protocols used for by companies. So we can build simulations using these products and platforms very easily. This photograph which you see in front of you is 30 feet by 8 feet physical OT model, which has been designed for OT security training simulation platform. And the whole dashboard and electronics are integrated under the table, making it very durable and beautiful for training purposes. We also have different versions of it, like the modular ones, which are used for large hacking conferences. These are physical tables where the entire simulation is built with HMIs and OT platforms, where you can do any kind of hacking simulation and achieve your goals for it. Primarily for testing purposes, especially if there is an oil and gas sector or a specific manufacturing company who wants to test the security of their products, they can integrate with these kind of simulations and use it. There are smaller ones we are designing called InfiCode Labs for providing it to universities and schools so that the OT training can be done at that level. Now, what are we looking from this particular meeting is that we hope that we know that there are companies in Israel who are very well known for virtual cyber ranges. Cyberbit, for example, is one of those companies, and there may be some more also which we are not aware as of now. But then there's a great market potential for combining the physical cyber ranges that we design and develop with our patented platforms to work with virtual cyber ranges and go to market. There's a great potential to collaborate, to code and develop challenges, playbooks, and scenarios in cybersecurity for large-scale critical sectors, to universities and government customers, where there's a phenomenal potential for deploying these platforms for upskilling the people or making sure that cybersecurity is addressed in a proper manner, especially in creating the next generation engineers in cybersecurity. So this is our requirement that we are looking at. We would want to collaborate with any company which is very keen to work with us to build these kind of platforms, to work with us. And if you already are a company which has multiple customers in critical sectors, especially in IT or OT environments, we would love to work with Israeli companies to go to market with them and provide these simulation platforms to their customers and jointly go to market. So this is a very quick pitch from my side, and I'm very excited about this opportunity. And collaboration is the only way to succeed. And I hope that we are able to find some good partner and go to market. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj, for your quick presentation. Now I invite Cyberbit to Mr. Vijay Kumar to talk about their organization.
I understand he's got some urgent meeting and he's not able to present, Mr. Sudheer.
Okay, Kavita, thank you.
Thank
We
you.
move ahead and we now move to invite CyberArk to please present their product.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am clearly audible.
Yes, Mr. Manshu, please proceed.
Yeah, and my screen is visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thanks for the confirmation. So to inform about CyberArk, CyberArk is a publicly traded information security company offering identity management. The company's technology is utilized primarily in the financial services, energy, retail, healthcare, and government markets. CyberArk is headquartered in Newton, Massachusetts, and the company has also offices throughout the Americas, EMEA, Asia Pacific, and Japan, across 110 countries altogether as of today. We at CyberArk shared commitments to consistently execute on our identity security vision and improve the security for our customers. To deeper dive into about CyberArk, we are built for the dynamic enterprises. CyberArk identity security platform enables secure access for any identity, human or machine identity, to any resource or environment from anywhere using any device. Today, with 8,000 plus customers across 110 countries, more than 50% of the Fortune 500 and more than 35% of the Global 2000 companies are a customer of CyberArk. We are the leader with a customer-first mindset aimed at helping global organizations to reduce cyber risk. Identity security innovator with a dedicated CyberArk labs, which proactively researches the evolving threat landscape, and trusted expert addressing the identity security challenges using industry-leading CyberArk blueprint. Just to let us know that we have a lot of experience throughout our journey within the identity security, and we pride ourselves at CyberArk on staying close to our customers and their evolving needs. One thing is, we would like to say that innovation is in our DNA. We have almost 83 patents and counting on non-stop organic development. plus a track record of successful acquisitions. Now to come to a problem where we talk about the privileged identities which we protect through our solutions. Until several years ago, wherein only IT administrators were considered as privileged users. In today's environment, almost any identity can be privileged under certain conditions. This can be a developer or a DevOps engineer who have access to source code or the DevOps pipeline and tools that can easily impact the organization production environment. It can be an application or robotic process automation that needs the high privileges in order to access corporate resources and performs its tasks. And it could also be a workforce team member that accesses a financial system with high privileges based on its roles and responsibilities. So we understand that privilege is now everywhere, and so are the risks associated with it. A privileged user is any user that has the capability to change, alter, or impact the operational services of a business process. And that way it becomes our responsibility to protect the customer environment by virtue of the cybersecurity solutions. Enterprise today, they deploy hundreds of business applications to accelerate agility, improve productivity, and simplify operations. But there are a lot of legacy applications that do not leverage modern identity protocols. In addition, web applications which could be accessed outside single sign-on solutions also pose a lot of challenges. And it is the inconsistent user experience and password fatigue. Today, workers conduct businesses from any place at any time using any device. And to be fully productive, they need fast, frictionless access to all the applications. We know the challenges of managing passwords. And if we look at some of the statistics, we also understand that more than 60% of the organizations today rely on human memory to access the passwords and to remember them. And that is where the challenges of keeping same passwords across multiple applications or note endeming in Excel files comes to the ground when it talks about privilege security. With CyberArk centered on the intelligent privilege controls, identity security seamlessly secures human and machine identities accessing applications, infrastructure, and data, and flexibility automates the identity lifecycle with a unified approach. So identity security enables zero trust by enforcing least privilege with continuous identity threat detection and protection. With CyberArk, just to give you a high-level overview of the product portfolios within CyberArk, we offer workforce and customer access. For customers need to access management solutions designed to outspace any security risk that challenge our ability to compete. The endpoint security solution to enforce least privilege, remove local admin rights, and protecting the credentials and also defending them against ransomware attacks. The privilege access management solution, which needs no introduction, it is to access all identities, infrastructure, and applications from the endpoint to the cloud. The secrets management around the application, access to applications and DevOps pipeline, which gives developers a frictionless experience. The cloud privilege security to overcome the challenges of poor visibility, inconsistent tooling, and proliferation of human and machine identities on the cloud space while adopting cloud. And lastly, the identity management, wherein all the processes could be automated, and with CyberArk, organizations can orchestrate and automate all aspects of processes related to administration and governance of a digital lifecycle, identity lifecycle. So to summarize, with CyberArk Identity Solution, we enable a unified identity security platform with intelligent privilege controls, strong authentication in terms of passwordless authentication factors, including biometric, QR codes, mobile push notifications, contextual authorization with enforcing least privilege and just-in-time access principles across platforms, endpoints, and applications. And lastly, but an important one, the audit and accountability to gain visibility and control of securing brokered sessions to ensure accountability, and monitoring and identifying risky behaviors, providing a tamper-proof audit trails. So this being the last slide, Gartner evaluated more than 20 vendors across the two verticals of privilege access management and identity and access management And CyberArk is the first and the only leader in both access management and privilege access management. So I encourage the audience to talk to us, understand our solutions, understand our innovations, and partner with us so that we can better deliver the identity security solutions, which will provide security to your environments from an identity security perspective. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Manshu.
We'll take questions.
Very happy to know about the IAM and also your activities that as a product you're doing. We will reserve the questions to the end. Now we will complete all the list that we have prepared. So now I request and invite Shrestha IT to please do the presentation.
So Sudheer, just confirming if I am audible as well as the presentation.
Yes, please go ahead. Yes, we can see.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. My name is Swapnil. I am the CEO of Shrestha, and we are a threat intelligence company based out of Belgavi, which is also the land of the commando training for the Indian Army. A little bit about the company. So we primarily work in the threat intelligence space with deep expertise in DNS as well as autonomous systems. And from an actionable perspective, our threat intelligence gets consumed by security companies, enterprises, computer emergency response teams in the context of protecting networks as well as analyzing and identifying threats as well. In certain cases in the past, our threat intelligence reports have been actionable to the level where attribution of the threat actors has also happened in the past. And our core mission is to uncover badness. So a little bit about the problem statement at hand. So if I go back in the context of domain names, that is a space that we work in. So there were roughly around 367 billion domain names registered as of 2021. And threat actors primarily use domain names because they are cheap. And one of the ways in which threat actors can also leverage stolen funds or credit cards for registering domain names for phishing campaigns, as well as ransomware communication or malware communication. And I just put out some of the domain names from our threat intelligence, just to give you an idea about what sort of badness exists on the internet. Of course, on a daily basis, you get your daily dose, but the scale is huge. So you have, threat actors running phishing campaigns for PayPal or something like Microsoft OAuth or authentication. Then you have for banks and whatnot. So that's where we come in the picture. We provide threat intelligence in the context of a feed, which contains multiple categories. Phishing is one of the threat intelligence feed that we provide. So this is basically domain names identified as phishing. Then also you have malware communicating with a domain name, and DGA domains. So these are basically domains which are generated on the fly. Then you have something like a very interesting case is newly registered domain names. So most of the time, attackers usually register a domain name and they would like to use that domain name, immediately. So that's a very interesting case where we, detect and collect this telemetry, and we provide this as a feed as well. Plus domain names using, communication with a C2 or malware communication. So we detect that by doing reverse engineering and various other methods, which I'll talk about in the next slide. And cryptojacking. So this is basically domain names which are primarily being used by the cryptojacking scripts. So our methodology, comprises of many elements. We have deployed nearly 400 plus honeypots on the internet, largely in the APAC as well as other regions. And these honeypots basically passively listen for anything that is attacking. So it's not doing an active reconnaissance. It is basically just listening for anyone who is trying to attack it, anyone who is trying to, drop a malware or log in and whatnot. We also run a large number of spam traps. These are basically domain names which are just listening for any sort of email coming into it. We also have passive DNS sensors to collect the DNS telemetry. And we have a small team of threat analysts who also look at OSINT, which is open source intelligence, reports to identify and analyze domain names. Of course, that's a very small percentage of the threat intelligence that we collect on our own. And all this telemetry basically goes through a pipeline which comprises of machine learning as well as manual investigations as well, manual heuristics as well, where a team of analysts analyze the data to make sure there are no false positives. A couple of notable elements that I'd like to point out is our threat intelligence is being used globally. So there is this project called as DNS0.EU, which is using threat intelligence from us and protecting EU users from phishing, malware, and all various kinds of cyber threats. Our customers are typically government agencies, enterprises, CERTs as well, computer emergency response teams, and security companies as well. So we have a large number of security companies who take the threat intelligence, what we generate, and they integrate that threat intelligence in their products. And that's how that goes to the end customer as well. So value of our threat intelligence is, although we focus primarily in the context of APAC, because we started with the notion that threat intelligence is basically a visibility game. And a lot of threat intelligence vendors which we looked at a certain point of time did not have visibility in APAC. Having said that, we also have a global reach as well. And our threat intelligence can basically be integrated in various formats, from DNS response policy zones to taxi integration or MISP integration, or even in a SIEM or a threat intelligence platform as well. And one of the key elements in the context of a threat intelligence is the point that the quality of the threat intelligence feed is the most important element, because you cannot have false positives in it. And that's something that we take extra precaution in from a quality perspective. Our threat intelligence can also be used by brands to monitor domain names which attackers are creating for impersonating the brand or typo squatting, as it is called. And we also do custom reporting as well. For certain customers, we basically generate curated reports, threat intelligence reports, which provide a very detailed insight into the threat, as well as analyzing that threat in a very in-depth manner. So integrations of the threat intelligence feeds is possible in many products. I have just listed a few of them, but as I said, it's just a feed, it's just data. That data can be integrated in any product, any firewall, any intrusion detection system, and whatnot. So many possibilities of integration. So from a collaboration perspective, we would love to explore potential synergies in terms of how the threat intelligence, what we are generating, the value that we are generating, can be integrated by potential companies in Israel who would be interested to evaluate the threat intelligence feed, as well as look at additional potential synergies in terms of collaborations. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, and pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Swapnil, for the quick presentation. Now I request Thrive DX to please start their presentation.
Thank you so much. I'll just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Mr. Yakir, please proceed.
Thank you so much. So my name is Yakir. I'm the country manager for India at Thrive DX, speaking from Tel Aviv. So thank you for the opportunity. And basically, previously, I was working for the Embassy of India also for 6 years, also promoting the business relations between India and Israel. So I'm very happy to be here. In a nutshell, Thrive DX, we are end-to-end human factor cyber solution, focusing on the human aspect in terms of cyber security. And in a nutshell, these are the numbers about our company. We train more than 10 million enterprise users. We are working with 500 enterprise customers. in more than 60 countries, and we have more than 200 partners worldwide. You can see many of them are here, but this is a partial list. We're working with the biggest companies in the world today, including in India, where we train the police forces in the southern part of India. We are working with top-tier universities like IIT, Jodhpur, MIT, Pune, and also with a lot of enterprises across India. Now, the problem that we are solving is basically, there are two major problems in the world today. The one is the talent shortage, and basically we are missing today 3.5 million jobs or cybersecurity professionals globally. This is causing a lot of damage for companies, for governments, and actually for the entire world. On the other hand, we see that 95% of all cyber breaches are actually involved in the human factor of cybersecurity, the human aspect. So most companies, they will have their own infrastructure or a third-party infrastructure. If it's a firewall, most likely the hacker will find a way to penetrate it. And it all comes to maybe a very innocent-looking mail that the secretary is opening, and the entire organization is compromised. So this is the major problems that we are here to solve. And this is, again, the talent shortage, the global talent shortage in the world today. And according to Gartner's report, India is also missing around 5 to 6 lakhs of cybersecurity professionals. So this is what we are aiming to solve as DriveDX. And again, why we are investing so much in the human side of cybersecurity, you can see that this is the average cost and frequency of the data breaches by the initial attack vectors, and the numbers are the damages to companies in millions of dollars. You can see that most of the attack vectors are involved in the human aspect of cybersecurity, from business email compromise, vulnerability in third-party software, social engineering, and so on. So we are basically the market leader for the human factor security, and we provide this end-to-end approach in terms of the human side, the human aspects of cybersecurity, everything related to training, awareness for employees, for training for the tech professionals. We have application security. We have also solutions for the non-tech professionals, like executive workshops. And also we have our own cybersecurity academy, where we actually train people to become a cybersecurity professional. We call it the Zero to Hero program, because no prior knowledge is required. And we actually do it according to the methodologies of the elite cybersecurity unit of the Israeli army. And all the management of the company of DriveDX, from the CEO to even the CPO to the CFO, actually came from the elite cybersecurity unit. And they took all the relevant learning methodologies and different techniques and combining it into our solutions of DriveDX. And this is also the problems in the threat world of cybersecurity that we are striving to solve. In terms of solutions, so we don't have much time, so I'll be very short. We have 4 major solutions. We have the awareness and phishing simulator tool, which is basically a platform that we provide to CISOs of companies or head of ITs or CTOs. Basically, they can attack their own employees in a very safe way, using hundreds and hundreds of attack templates, and also very customizable. And then accordingly, to train their employees, of course, they can analyze the data. They have the full dashboard of statistics of which employees actually failed the attack. And accordingly, they can train them on really vast amount of topics. So we have a huge library of training, from very short courses to the advanced courses as well. For the developers team, for the IT team, we have also application security. It is a very unique platform. It is called Contra Application Security. It is made for developers, by developers, where we teach the developers to basically how to write a code in a very secure way, because we know that today the developers, they write a very efficient code, but most of them, they kind of tend to ignore the security aspects. So to avoid this kind of a zero-day attacks, we develop this kind of a platform for the dev team. We also have executives workshops, self-paced courses, but also it can be instructor-led courses that we provide to companies. And our flagship solution in the reskilling aspect is the bootcamp or the Cyber Academy, where we train, as I mentioned, people from zero to hero. We train them according to the Israeli methodology. We are also the official provider, the official cyber reskilling partner of the Israeli government. So we actually trained hundreds and hundreds of people or students in Israel, but globally we train more than 60,000 people into cybersecurity. We are working with the Ministry of Economy and the Israeli Innovation Authority as well. And we also reach basically communities that have, let's say, a lack of access to this kind of education, like minorities or students from all kinds of backgrounds. And why our solution works? All of our solutions are based on the realistic side of cybersecurity. So we tend to use a lot of, let's say, cybersecurity attacks that happened in the past, and we combining it into all of our platforms and all of our solutions in order to give the trainees the opportunity to face a real-time cyber attack like it happened, and to keep them also engaged in our platforms as well. So the solution for the enterprise, which is called originally it was called Lucid Security, it was developed for a Swiss bank, and we actually working with the biggest banks around the world today, but also with enterprises, financial institutions, even governments, even NATO. And this is the awareness and phishing simulator that I mentioned. We support hundreds and hundreds of training templates. We have more than 300 training modules. We have more than 800 phishing templates that you can actually attack, or the CISO, the CTO can actually attack his own companies in a very safe way. You can see all the awards that we won in the past. And basically this is the advantage. We support a tailored attack simulation that is built for the company needs, so everything is customizable according to the organization needs. We have the dashboard. You can optimize the results according to your needs. You can extract the reports. You can analyze which department is most vulnerable, and accordingly you can train them using our templates. We support also flexible on-prem deployment, so you can install it.
Excuse me, Yakir, we are on the 9th minute.
Okay, sure, I'll finish. And we also support our other solution called Application Security in the platform itself. And to wrap it up, we also have a Cyber Academy. As I mentioned, we have the capacity to train internal employees, but also external employees using our methodologies according to the Israeli methodologies. We have more than 500 hours of content. We have more than 100 real-world simulations, like cloud-based virtual machines that we support, and it can be integrated with any learning management system. So thank you again for the opportunity, and do reach out if you have any plans of collaboration with ThreatDX. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yakir. Very nice to know that you are working in the area of skill development. I definitely see synergy and collaboration possible from Mysuru Cluster. Now I request Velox Solutions to please begin their presentations.
Yeah, thank you, Sudhir. I'll just share the screen. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. Over to Dr. Mangesh.
Mangesh, you're on mute.
Hi, Vidya, can you please put it in the slide mode?
Yes, I'm
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Mangesh. I'm the Managing Director of Velox Solution. Velox Solution is specifically into cyber and security and OT security. Velox got established in the year 12. We are in the 11th year of our operation, and we have a corporate office here in Mumbai. We have R&D center in Pune and Global Innovation Center in Chicago, USA. We are coming up with women-centric cybersecurity development center in Mysuru soon. KDEM is instrumental in helping us, and we are very well aligned with them so as to set up our center soon in the area. Velox basically works in the area of IT infrastructure, cybersecurity, and controlling and monitoring. All our solutions are certified by various certifications, starting from ISU to PADSS, which is required to run the products in the banking sector. Solutions are Gartner recognized, and we serve more than 300 customers globally. In these 300 customers, we have 108 banks in India and outside India. So we have private sector banks like HDFC, Kotak, then PSUs like Canara, Indian Overseas Bank, to Tata Group of companies. List, whatever we hold, will be published after this presentation, at the end of this presentation. We have many awards and recognition during our journey. The recent award, what we backed from Government of India, is Business Excellence Award for our achievement in the cybersecurity. We also honor with ICT Cybersecurity Company of the Year award by Government of India. And there are many awards in the bucket of ours. We have operation in 7 countries so far, which includes India, Dubai, South Africa, Nepal, Mexico, and Chicago. When it comes to product, Velox is the only Indian cybersecurity product company. Product, when I'm saying product, we have a product which can be sold through distribution cycle. So our business model is very simple. We have a distributor in the form of Ingram, Taxonic, CompEdge. These distributors are reselling our product to the market through their partner network. So in the form of product, we have Security as our flagship product. Under that, you'll find multiple sub-modules. For endpoints, we have EDR, MDR, and DLP. Then patch management. SIM is again a solution to protect your IT infrastructure and network. We have intrusion prevention system. We have full hard disk encryption. We have anti-APT as our tool. Next line of product includes network monitoring system, ITSM, IT ops management, MDM, cloud security, and chatbot AI, RP, and ML. Chatbot AI, RP, and ML are linked to our product. These are not products which are separately available to sell in the market. So this is one product suite which named as Security. Next product suite what we have is Scan Plus. Scan Plus product suite includes mobile device management, ATM terminal security management, centralized content distribution, vCare backup management, and antivirus as a specific tool. On this ground, just want to tell you, we crossed 11 years of our journey, and so far in the market, what we have achieved that has to be presented. Velox is the only Indian company who built ATM terminal security solution. And India has got more than 230,000 ATMs. Friends, Velox serve half the country. every second ATM in India is protected by Velox. Second achievement what we made is very important. Velox is the only company in the world who developed full hard disk encryption suite. So far in the journey, we have sold more than 6 lakh licenses in the market. So this is what we achieved. Next product suite what we hold is Asset Grid. Asset Grid is a platform which normally allows you to monitor your IT infrastructure in per se asset management and managing and monitoring the life of an asset. Second module within that platform is non-IP based asset management, in which the asset will be monitored, managed by RFID, QR code, mobile app, and even you can tag that asset and reconcile that asset as per your need. And these are 3 product suite what we hold. Next, what we achieve is very important. The salient feature is what, as I mentioned, Velox is the only cybersecurity company, product cybersecurity company in India, which allows you to monitor your asset, safeguard your asset under one umbrella. All these solutions which I have displayed over here are integrated with each other. Means if you opt for one solution, next time you can add one more module to it. You need not to go and buy or create one more setup. All these products are platform independent. When I say platform independent, these solutions can run on Windows, Unix, and Linux as an operating system, and you can configure the database of your choice. That is Oracle, SQL, MySQL, or Postgre. One single dashboard will allow you to use all these products. Means what we do, if CISO or CIO wants to see all the products on one single dashboard, that facility can be given or can be configured. This product consumes very less bandwidth. And second is what? These products are parameterized. When I say parameterized, you need not to come to us again and again to have customization. You can design your dashboard, you can create your own reports also using this product. Solutions are cost effective. In per se cost, these products can be made available to you on enterprise licensing mode or subscription mode. As per your choice, you can opt and you can configure. We have 3 layers of 24/7 support from India and outside India. So we have a support center running out of Mumbai, and second support center for a globe we have in Chicago. Third support center we will be bringing up in the Mysuru soon. In short, what I can say, if you opt for our product lines, you need not to be worried for your infrastructure. Proactive controls can be set up and configured to manage end-to-end IT infrastructure and safeguard the systems effectively. Next screen will tell you what we did in the market. As I mentioned in the beginning of my talk, we monitor, manage, and safeguard 300+ customers in India. So 108 banks we protect, where we have deployed ATM terminal security, EDR, data leak prevention, we call it DLP, patch management system, SIEM for SOC, network monitoring system. And these are few customers. ISRO is our customer where we have deployed very sensitive cybersecurity tool, which protects ISRO's environment. Security and Exchange Board of India, one of the regulator in India, we protect. HDFC Bank, we protect their more than 22,000 ATM centers. Kotak is again our customer. We have delivered payment gateway security, endpoint security, central bank, again, a PSU,
Excuse
government.
me, Dr.
Yeah.
Mangesh,
Yeah.
we are on the 9th minute.
Okay. So this is what we achieved so far in the journey. Friends, my expectation from this discussion is what, we are identifying partner in Israel who can help and join hands in research and growth what we have planned for the market. So thank you, gentlemen, for this wonderful opportunity of discussion and interaction with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mangesh Amle, for the presentation. We will surely help you connect with Israeli counterparts. Now, I request Core Site AI to please present.
Hello, everyone. My name is Prashant. Am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Prashant, please go ahead.
Thank you. Allow me to share the screen, please. Is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
Super. My name is Prashant. I'm the Regional Sales Director with CoreSite India. CoreSite is an Israeli firm, and we specialize in just one thing: identification, the right identification. The solution helps organizations in the law enforcement agencies and in the private sector to identify whether the right individual is accessing the right place. So the solution that we have helps the citizen community to become safer, the communities to be safer, the cities to be safer ultimately. So in the next few minutes, I'll give a quick overview about the whole thing and the applications part of it, because I'm sure face recognition is somewhat known subject in India. Now, I draw your attention to this metro feed, a screen grab from a metro. You'll find a lot of people coming in, going in, out, wearing masks. Now, in a normal situation, this is not something that other agencies, FRS agencies will be able to recognize. But in our case, the green bounding box indicates that our FRS is ready for recognition. When I say ready for recognition, it would mean that it is taking a face and going to a database for searching, right? And how we are different is that if you look at this eye, specifically this person, only one half of his eye is visible. More than 50% of his face is covered, but still our software is able to do a matching in case his face is in the database. And similarly, if I draw your attention to this lady in the darkness that is visible there, we are also able to do recognition in darkness, near darkness kind of a scenarios also. Right. Now, small overview about our team, because the product is 12, 13 years old, but it became a separate company only in 2019 when the global operations were started. We started India operations in 2021. And we have a few logos that we have acquired, mostly in the public sector domain. Some of the key users for the organization, for the product of the organization, is obviously the law enforcement, started by law enforcement, then the safe city, smart city. There's huge potential for the smart city and the safe city businesses, because there are various use cases that have been identified. Protection of Prime Minister, we are speaking to the topmost agency in the country that's involved in protecting the Prime Minister's security. Government buildings, we are speaking to consultants and to government agencies in how they can protect the buildings better. Heritage sites, large events are especially prone to violence sometimes, or untowards people try to enter those areas. Similarly, you've seen the magic of Digi Yatra at airports. It is something that is driven by face recognition solution. We don't have that product in India right now, but it is something that we can look with partnerships. We can build that product. We have done similar work with seaports and also the security for railways, metros that we put it across. In banking sector, we are in the verge of doing the POCs with one bank, because they have that eKYC where you're supposed to upload a selfie, and then somebody has to figure out whether the person on the selfie is the same one whose photo identity proof and address proof has been submitted, right? So we are able to do those kind of things. How CoreSite is different, it's quite an interesting story, because we are able to do matching of a million database, a database of million images. Our results will come out in 10 milliseconds. Just 10 milliseconds it takes for the algorithm to scan through a database of million and give out the results. That plus the fact that accuracy in that database is 99.87%. And these are the data of Department of Homeland Security. That's what we're relying on to see here. The other important part on this slide is that CoreSite is the only organization that is registered on the NIST National Institute of Standards with having zero racial bias, which means that, for Indian skin tone, which changes from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, you really do not need to worry wherever you're using us. You can start any kind of a national ID project or a driving license project just using this one software. Now, this is a small slide I put together for the law enforcement, which is the biggest users of our system. You have what we see in policing. There are two aspects to it. The first aspect is the one that is visible to us, but the second aspect, which they do behind, is like intelligence gathering, preparing, researching, that all. Fortunately, with one software, we are able to do all those things. When I say we are able to do all those things, it primarily means that whether it is protection of assets, whether it is protection of people, whether it is protection of VIPs, or whether it is protection of borders, securing them and safeguarding them is what we are able to do with this. Now, you may have a person who is on the database, who is registered as an employee, but even being an employee, he may not have access to all the floors of a building, for example. He should be only allowed on first, second, third, the cafeteria example, but you may have a server room where he's not allowed, right? So that is one thing. And then you have people, the list of the database that is given from the police, that you do not want that person to enter into your building because they are known threats or they carry a high threat perception with them. Similarly, in prisons, there's a lot of violence happening currently, always has been. But if we are able to tag these prisoners who form their own groups and clusters, and you can create a system wherein if two people from two different groups are seen closer to each other, then the system throws in alarms. And similarly, the post-investigation part of it, we are able to address this, and that's the key reason why we are very successful in the forensic departments across the country, is that we have been able to solve unsolved cases because police had the clip, but there was no software through which they were able to rightly or reach a conclusion based on the database that they have. We have been able to solve quite a few with the help of police officers. A summary slide about all the possible deployment scenarios that take care of internal security, whether we want to protect the cities, the airports, the railway stations, the ISBT, the high footfall areas basically, or whether we want to check the borders as people are coming in from international airports or from the borders, the coastal borders, or through the ICPs against Pakistan and all those areas. And then, of course, the most basic part of it is enhancing the level of security and awareness for government offices, defense infrastructure, protection of women and children. The software has that proximity alert, which means that if you're monitoring a person and you're seeing that today he came with a different set of teenagers and children, and when he again came on the screen after 2 weeks, you saw him with a different set of women, children, and all that, you could actually stop him and ask him for questioning about what is happening, right? The last line item on this real-time tracking of drug and contraband. Now, there's a typical scenario in this industry that people never carry ID cards for the simple fact that they're using a loophole in the law that if you do not carry an ID card, you just give any name as your identification. And when you give any name, the next time, today it may be Ram, tomorrow it may be Sham, day after it may be Ghansham. So the law says that if you get caught for the same offense, the repeat offense, the punishment is higher. You may even be denied bail. So a software like this, when it is in place with high accuracy and high speed of detection, you are able to immediately pick up the person the moment he enters a police station that he's already been to a police station for X number of crimes in the past. Now, as a face recognition company, as a software company, we are able to do 1:1 match, which is as simple as your iPhone. What you do in an iPhone, it opens up against your face only. Or 1:N. This is simple as you may have attendance readers in your office that are able to do those matchings. And N:1. N:1 is like.
Excuse me, Prashant.
Yes, please.
We are on the 9th minute, Prashant.
Absolutely. Just another minute.
Sure, please.
In terms of the live cameras, it is able to look at feed as webcam, ATM cameras, CCTV, mobile. We are basically camera agnostic. and also agnostic to the make and model of any camera. You don't need to change your infrastructure as long as you have used an IP camera for that part of it. Various key result areas, and I'm happy to deliberate that in future with any of my industry colleagues over here. Some of the other key interventions, and probably I would use this as my last slide now. City surveillance, human trafficking, vandalism, we are able to stop all this. That's about it, sir. I think I'm done and I would like to close the slide. Over to you.
Thank you, Prashant. We will definitely get back to questions once we are completed the presentations of others. So now I request Re-Infosec to please present.
Hi, Sudheer. Just let me know if my screen is visible. I'm sharing it now. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is now.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Akash from Re-Infosec Cybersecurity. Just a minute. I think my
Yes, it's visible.
Please go ahead, Akash. You are visible.
So yeah, hi, I'm Akash from Re-Infosec Cybersecurity. So we are a new age cybersecurity company based out of Bangalore. Okay. So we are in this domain since past 3 years. So we have been catering our cybersecurity services to various industries across India. So the major industries, as you can see on the screen, is government, then this technology, manufacturing, then healthcare, energy, etc. So what we offer is basically we offer our expertise in terms of providing security solutions in terms of application security, IoT security, cloud security, and critical infrastructure security. So these are the main areas where we offer our expertise in. So for industries like IT, then hardware, or any manufacturing or retail, we offer end-to-end cybersecurity services. So when we say end-to-end cybersecurity services, we offer it from EDR services to OST, that is endpoint detection and response, to offensive security testing. So that's our major focus as well. But from the past couple of years, we have been working closely with the government. So with the government, we are dealing in terms of digital forensics domain. So in the digital forensics domain, we have been offering services ranging from local cyber crimes to global ransomware attacks. So these are the major services that we have been offering our services from. If you look at the screen, these are the past clients that we have catered to in the past 6 months. So there are a plethora of industries as well. Some of them are automobile, consulting, then there's education, then there's government, fintech, etc. So these are the major clients that we have been catering our services to as well. So coming to the main focus point of today's presentation, again, so how Re-Infosec would want to collaborate with the Israeli companies. So it's majorly with respect to R&D of our company. So going ahead, we would like to collaborate with the Israeli companies to explore opportunities on our R&D areas. So our company has been developing products to solve some of the major problems in cybersecurity. So one of them is the first one I could say is ISM device database. So in this particularly, it's an industrial, scientific, and medical database where cross relation of devices in terms of industries incidents can be requested via API calls. It's a particular R&D area that we are working on, which we would be needing support on. The second is a Linux spin-off. So when we say Linux spin-off in this particular project, we are working on developing customized operating systems to address certain problems that we are facing in our testing processes and various security solutions. So this can be customized as per various commercial purposes. And then the third project that we are working on is reverse trigonometric satellite lookup. So this particular solution is is to detect if GPS is spoofed in a particular location or not. So for this particular solution, we have been working using different laws of planetary motions, astrodynamics, then line elements. So these technologies have been used, and we are working on producing a solution out of this. So the fourth is the interference identifiers. So it is a project to develop interference identifying solution that can be deployed across the city and the network, so that we understand the EM environment in the city. So these 4 projects is what we are looking at. So when we speak about the I4F fund or with collaborating with the Israeli companies, we are looking to harness this R&D to cater particular clients, or how to develop this with respect to associated Israeli companies. So I'll be keeping my presentation short because of other commitments as well. So this is the particular requirement that we are looking at. Going ahead, if somebody has anything to connect with, you can always find us here or contact us. Thank you.
Thank you, Akash, for the quick presentation. Now I request DevCo Solutions, Mr. Murali, to please come in.
Able to hear me?
Yes, Mr. Murali, please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, myself Murali, and I have some technical difficulties with my laptop. Could not present the slides. Okay, sorry for that. And I want to explain about what is DevCo and in which area we are looking into the collaboration. So DevCo is a newly built startup. Started in 2023. It's basically from Bangalore and India. We have an expertise in building ecosystems. So whether it is a ecosystem for application development, or ecosystem for industry readiness program, or ecosystem for cybersecurity, we mainly specialize in ecosystem building. So currently we are dealing with some different ecosystems. One is application ecosystem for one of the industry leader, where we are building a communities for developer communities and student community, mainly with respect to the application ecosystem. And also we are building an ecosystem for 5G. They basically connecting to the industry as well as to the university, and we are building private 5Gs and COEs. And with respect to the cybersecurity, we have some of the known partners who are interested in doing the penetration testing, like basically focusing on security applications for the IoT devices. So we have come up with DevCo. We have come up with a solution where we don't just provide the engineering services or testing services. We are planning to build an ecosystem where the universities also participate, and some of the local unorganized talent, where they are good in even breaking the some of the security. So we are making them part of this particular ecosystem, and want to ensure that devices, the penetration test is properly done. So we are also started developing some of the tools with respect to the penetration testing. So one of the use case I can mention is, if you see in most of the Western countries, all the mobile devices are sold in an EMI basis. So of course, when the EMI is not, the financial commitment is not paid, so there will be a lock. So lock can be based on the IMEI base. So there are many ways you can try to break. And most of the, if you see the most of the places, example like maybe Bangalore, if you go to the SP Road, of course, in many places also, many other countries or many cities also you can go. If you go and take a mobile to them and say that, okay, this is locked. So they will try a number of ways and try to break that lock. So we are partnering with some of the local unorganized talent also. Of course, we have some of the consultants and the advisors. So that's where we are focusing on building an ecosystem for basically into the penetration testing. So in this regard, we would like to partner or collaborate with some of the Indian companies as well as Israel companies. So of course, I will connect offline and show our use case and what is our plan. And if it matches the roadmap and matches, we will be able to collaborate and take it forward.
Thank you, Mr. Murali.
Thank you.
Now that we have reached the end of the list, however, we still have about 15 minutes left with us. I would request participants who would want to interact or ask specific question to any other presenter to please take the name of the company and have a specific question so that we can use this 10 minutes to have interactions. Or if there are any FNQ that you would want to ask from KDEM or the Israel Consulate, we will be very happy to clarify. I open the floor for discussion for the next 10 minutes.
So they will be very keen to explore the partnership with Thrive DX if possible, because I believe that the company is into virtual platforms and will be very keen to explore if there is an opportunity to work together on that.
Absolutely, thank you. I'll be happy to explore this opportunity with you. I'll share my email address and we can connect and discuss it. Yeah.
Yeah, we will surely help, and we are, as a progression to this meeting, we will also have a one-on-one connect wherein we will facilitate along with the Israel Consulate joining this discussion. And we will also have the Indian counterpart of the I4F fund, Jyotsna, joining us, so that we will have specific instructions on how to proceed and which areas to explore.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So Sudheer, I have a question there.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I know there's a aggressive timeline of August 10th, right, where the idea needs to submit. So I wanted to understand to what depth is the proposal really submitted, right? Does it include a very detailed timeline, plan, execution team? What do you plan to build? All of that. Yeah, just trying to understand, right, to what level is the detail required for that joint positioning?
Nitesh, the Indian counterpart for the I4F, Ms. Jyotsna, who was supposed to join, since due to some exigency, she could not join. We are organizing a specific program addressing this particular question that you have raised on how should the project proposal be on 14th of July. And this program will involve the explanation on the particular information required, the forums, the manner in which it has to be filled, the timelines. Now, the call for application that they have done for I4F is for the last call for application under the previous scheme. However, the new scheme is in place, which is going to be active for the next 4 years. So it is still going to continue. August is not necessarily the deadline. Now there will be 3 call for proposals every year.
Oh, got it. Okay. Thanks, sir.
So with no more questions, I take this opportunity to draw a closure to this fantastic presentation by the companies. I thank the Israel Consulate for taking all the trouble of connecting all the companies and also facilitating the presentation from I4F. We will definitely work towards taking this engagement to the next level. I request all the companies who want collaboration to please reach out to us. We will share respectively the email IDs and access to all the companies on India side to Israel and Israel side to India, so that you can still continue to have a one-on-one with them. If you need any assistance from our side or from the Israel Consulate side, please feel free. The emails are already there in the chat box. And any support that is required from KDEM is always available at the cluster level from Mysuru, Bangalore, and Hubballi. I now hand over the session to Kavita for the closure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sudheer, and thank you, wonderful audience, for listening. I think we still have everyone intact here. Thank you so much for your attention. And I take this opportunity to just mention that we, the Trade Office, are here to connect Israel technology with India, and we closely work with KDEM in many events, and we continue to work. And thank you so much, KDEM, for all this, all your support and for organizing this event. And it's been a wonderful journey all through till now, and we wish to continue forward. And talking about the B2B meetings, please write to us. We will be happy to connect. I already have shortlisted few companies. I was just chatting with Mr. Sudheer. We see a lot of tractions that we can connect with. And I will take the emails, and not just the companies that presented, we will also open doors for many other companies. And I've already gone through your brief profile, and we are going to take it forward, and we'll continue to connect with more technology, and we'll stay in touch. So thank you once again, everyone, and best of luck to us.
Thank you so much, Kavita.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a great evening.
Bye. Have a nice evening. Bye.